I barely graduated high school. Definitely a troubled youth. We'll just put it that way.
Really?
Never do this.
And I went to this one where I got jumped outside of my car and just pop, pop, pop. What I talk about, it's not sexy.
Most people do it the wrong way. However,
Banks have billions and billions and billions of dollars of this. I'll let everyone know what it is now. It's properly structured.
You don't have to. All right, so what's going on, everybody? So on today's show, we have none other than Devin Burr in the house. Mr. Burr, thank you for coming, bro.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, you know what? You're all over the place, and everybody's seen you from afar. And you know, I finally get to get you in the podcast and learn a little bit about you myself, and potentially build a relationship. Man, Burr. So people they know you've talked about it, the Burr method. You know, how did you get into the BRRRR method? I think I read something like you started in the financial industry, what, mortgage finances or something like that?
Yep.
So did you go to school for that, or how did that look?
No, man. I barely graduated high school.
Okay.
Definitely a troubled youth. We'll just put it that way.
Really?
And we can touch on that if you want. But yeah, I was getting shot at 19 years old, running with the wrong crowd. And my first real job was a loan officer at, what was the name of the company? AmeriQuest Mortgage.
Okay.
Back in 2005. So I was 20 years old, and I was going to college at ASU to try to get my degree at the same time, trying to right the ship of how my life was. And my first check as a loan officer was 11, 12 grand. So I'm like, why am I going to college? You know what I mean? So
Totally.
I just dropped out and then jumped around from job to job for my entire 20s, basically. But yeah, I was in the mortgage industry pretty much that whole time until I was 34,
So
2019.
You said you were getting shot at. Where are you from? Where you? What?
From here.
You're from Phoenix. I'm from Phoenix. What side of town are you from? What area?
So I grew up on 32nd Street in Thomas.
Okay. I know exactly where that's at. Yeah. So you were.
It's a little nicer now than it was back then.
No. It's Arcadia now.
Yeah,
Arcadia Light.
That's Arcadia. Yeah.
Arcadia Light now.
Yeah.
They're stretching Arcadia all the way down.
Yeah.
Get some more dollars on that real estate investment. So getting shot at, why were you getting shot at, bro? What were you doing?
Man, I never knew why I was getting shot at.
So you're just getting shot at.
I found out later on what it was, but I was just young and hanging with the wrong crowds, and I was going to parties, and I had these group of kids messing with me, and went out to my car one day, and there was a cinder block in the windshield. The car was paintballed with paintball guns, and I'm like, who's messing with me? So I was making pretty good money back then. I was working at MCI selling long distance out here in Phoenix, making probably $1,700 a week, living at home. So I'm like, I got no bills, so I would just fix my car. I think these kids didn't like that. They thought this rich kid is just, you know what I mean?
And you're on 32nd Street in Thomas.
Yeah, I wasn't rich. My parents didn't have money, but I was making good money.
You were by Food City and stuff.
Yeah, right there. Right there by that Home Depot.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, man, I just, I kept going to these parties on the weekends, and my car kept getting messed up. And I went to this one where I got jumped outside of my car. And I drove home to my mom's house on 32nd and Thomas, parked the car, got out, went to ice my face. So I was out of the car maybe a minute, and just pop, 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 pop. Car got shot up outside of my mom's house.
The same guys.
Yep. So
Dang, they hated you, bro.
dude, one of the bullets went through the headrest. So if I was sitting in that car in 2003, I'd be gone. You know what I mean? So I found out later on that I had actually messed around with one of their girlfriends.
Of course.
But dude, I didn't know. She didn't disclose these
she's
facts.
not hey, my boyfriend's a killer.
Yeah.
Come sleep with me.
My boyfriend's in a gang, so maybe you should. She didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it all stemmed from. And I found out later on, I was like, I'm getting shot at. I found out after I left town. So I was getting shot at, and then that was on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And then that Saturday, I just called up my sister. She lived in West Virginia. I'm like, sis, I got to move out there. I'm getting shot at. I'm getting jumped. Something's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I got to leave. So I left town in 2003 for about a year to let everything die down.
Hey, so you're getting jumped, you're getting shot at. You're like, what the hell is going on? You're messing around with this chick and she ain't saying nothing. She's not like, I think my boyfriend's trying to kill you. Nothing, huh?
It was just a one-time thing.
Oh, wow.
A one-time like hookup.
And she probably told him out of spite or something.
I don't know, man.
She's like, I'm messing with Devin. Who? That guy in that nice car.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. So I found out once I'd moved to West Virginia, like what the deal was, that it was because of her. And I'm like, really? Like, really?
Do you think if you would have stayed, like, you'd have either went down a different path, you know, because you can be angry, now you're going for vengeance type thing, retaliation, or possibly gotten seriously hurt real bad? Do you think that, like...
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that was an inflection point in my life where it's like a fork in the road.
Yeah.
If I didn't leave, I'd probably be in a body bag. Or
'cause they're trying to kill you, bro.
Yeah, or I would have tried retaliating. Like, I didn't really even do anything to my knowledge, and they're shooting at me.
Yeah.
So if I try to retaliate, like, shit's going down.
Yeah.
Right?
So were you that type of person too, though, like fighting and stuff as well? Like, were you looking for that fight, or it just kind of came to you all the time?
Yeah, I was never looking for fights.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't back down from one.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So I was kind of more of like a lover than a fighter. Mm-hmm. But if
so you were loving on these girls and their boyfriends were coming after you.
Hey, I didn't know.
Was that? I seen a picture of you the other day. You posted you were young, you were ripped. Was that? Is that how you looked back then?
Not as much. That was more towards like my late 20s.
Okay.
When I was all ripped.
Yeah, you were over there taking those dudes' girls.
They didn't like it, man. They didn't like it.
They're like, I'm gonna go after you in your nice car. Thank God though, like that you made the adjustment and recognized, because so many people, they don't recognize it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then they just go down this path, whether it's justified or unjustified, and because they choose to stick around either out of negligence or out of stupidity. Right. You know, and you know, take a far right when, like yourself, you said, okay, I'm gonna dip out for a bit, let this thing calm down and reset. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because today, I mean, we see it. Even it's a little bit, the world's different today, but you see a lot of people just get sucked into stuff that they shouldn't be a part of, and people, like, their lives are wasted. Yeah. You know, they're 35, 40, doing nothing with their life, or they die too young. Right. You know, something stupid happening, or too many kids, or whatever it is. Right. You know, so you made the adjustment. I think that's key, man, because, like, I didn't make adjustments until I was a little older. You know, I went through a lot of crap, you know, young. I only went to about a month of high school, but I kept doing stupid stuff for years. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't until I started going to jail multiple times, and, you know, like, kids started popping out. And
I can almost guarantee you, when your life turned, it was because who you started surrounding yourself with. Oh, right?
Yeah. I had to, when I changed, I started making changes. I remember so I was part of a gang and all that stuff. And I went to one of the guys, and he's like, my son was just born. And so that's when I started making changes. So I was 21 when I started. It took me to about 20, 23, 24. Yeah. And he's like, get out of here. You know, don't answer the phone for no one. Don't tell no one where you're at. Yeah. And so I literally started moving around, changing my surroundings. Yeah,
that's what it takes.
Yeah. You cannot associate yourself with anybody if they're not on the same path. Yeah. You know, like we have at church, you know, we'll get like drug addicts and stuff like that, young kids that are getting in trouble or whatever, even adults, and it's like the first thing I tell them is get away from them. Like, you don't have to answer the phone for them. Right. You don't have to go to their house. You know. Right. You don't have to, like, just try to be part of the crowd because you know them or they're your cousin or all that shit. But it's like, people still do it though. Yep. You know what I mean?
I told my daughter, I like try to pour my wisdom into her. She'll be 17 this year. And like her age right now is when I was getting into all the crap that I was getting into, right? And it was all about the people I was surrounding myself with. So I tried telling her, I'm like, look, all these people that you're hanging out with, none of them are going to be in your life in like 10 years. Mm-mm. None of them. So like, why are you trying to fit in with them? Like, she got caught with vape pens. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And she's like, oh, well, everyone else is doing it, trying to fit in. I'm like, why? Yeah. These are people you're not going to even have in your life in 10 years. Yeah. So why are you trying to fit in with them?
You know, it's what I always say, like, she probably got busted, I'm gonna assume. And like I'm not super spiritual, but I am a man of God, a man of faith, to go to church, all that stuff, working in church. But always, like my wife would say the same thing is when it's exposed, it's because God's trying to do something in your life.
Mm-hmm.
They're saving you from something.
100%.
You know, and so it's kind of good that you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's not just fully hidden and you're oblivious to it.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, the kids, they want to be cool. They want to be popular. They want to look good. They see everyone on Instagram looking good. You know, they want that glam. I don't know what they call it, the drip or whatever they're calling it today.
Yeah, the drip. Yeah.
I don't know what they're calling it, but it's, and you know, I try to say who cares if you're a nerd, if you're a dork,
right?
You know, because you're gonna outwork and outlast the next person.
You're gonna be employing all these people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I was the kid that thought he was cool, that was the class clown, that was getting arrested, and next thing you know, I'm the only kid that's separated from all the other ones because I was so bad and so in trouble and everything. Now I'm not in the same school. I'm not in the same system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like, well, shit, I wanted to be this cool guy. Now everyone's still going to high school and I'm like, you know, not allowed, you know?
Yeah.
Completely backfired on my ass.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, going back to, you know, your story and stuff, you know, going into the mortgage financing and all that stuff, you know, because a lot of people are doing that today as well. That led into you going into like fix and flips or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did that look like?
So, yeah, I was in the mortgage industry for so long and I was good at it.
Yeah.
And I think I was just comfortable, right? So it got to a point where I wasn't comfortable with just being comfortable anymore, right? I was kind of fed up with the life that I had built.
Yeah.
Where I'm making a couple $100,000, getting taxed a bunch.
So it wasn't fun no more?
Yeah, the company just had like too much control, right? They could change the comp plan whenever they wanted. And like, I'm just not a good employee. I don't like being told what to do, right?
That's just scary right there, Dominic.
So like, I basically was just like looking for something new. And I'd always seen like Flip or Flop and all these shows. And I'm like, that looks cool. And I had a friend that actually worked at Quicken Loans where I was working at for a little bit. His name's Templeton Walker. He's an investor out here. And I saw one of his reels on Instagram. This was back in like 2019. And he was talking about a flip that he did. I'm like, dude, I want to do flips. So I just hit him up. And I'm like, Temp, what would it take? Like, how much do I have to pay you to just ride along for one day? See how you do things, because I'm a visual learner. See how you do it so I can apply it in my life. And he's like, dude, you're my homie. You don't got to pay me shit. Just come hang out. So I rode along for one day. That was September like 17th of 2019. And I just fell in love with it. I was like, I can do that. So I just started drumming up leads. And I locked up my first contract October 7th of 2019.
Nice.
Walked into Quicken the next day and quit.
You're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
This is all I needed is one thing. Anything else?
That's it, man. So I quit that day and had the blessing from my wife because she works at Quicken as well. And she was doing pretty well. So like her income could support us with our bills because we're not like, we don't live above our means. Like she drives a Toyota Camry. She'll drive that thing till the wheels fall off.
Toyota's a good car, bro.
Oh, dude, she's had it for like 7-8 years and it's perfect car still. So like our bills weren't super high. So she's like, yeah, just go do your thing. I had no pressure. So I could just kind of really be me and go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
So from when I quit October 8th till March when COVID hit, I had done 8 real estate deals.
Nice. So just cranking them out.
Zero marketing.
COVID stopped you.
Yeah, COVID stopped me because I was going to meetups. I was just going to local events, meeting people, and then JVing deals. Because I had a little bit of money saved up. So that's the value I brought in on the deal. Like I always tell people, you can either bring money, you can bring the know-how, or you can bring the deal.
The deal. Yeah.
Right? Those are the 3 things you can do. If you can do all of them, you don't have to partner with anybody.
That's in any industry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I had a little bit of money. I needed to find out how to get the deal. I didn't know how to do a deal though. So Templeton is the one that knew how to do deals. I would just bring them to him and say, here's this deal. Is this a deal? Is this a deal? Is this a deal? And finally he'd be like, no, it's not because of this. It's not because of that. And I started getting to a point where I knew how to underwrite him, and I would just start teeing him up, and we would just JV him. And yeah, I did 8 deals, 0 marketing. COVID hit, and I was like, damn, what do I do now?
Yeah, that was put a little brakes on
Yeah.
on everything. I like what you said though, is like you went to go learn, you know, like you sought after something, you know, and you asked him, and he's like, cool. Like so many people won't even go out and try to learn from somebody. Number one is they're afraid.
Right.
Or they think it's going to cost them something.
Right.
And it'll cost you your time at the very minimum. It's going to cost you your time.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're willing to do that. You're probably willing to pay him.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you want to learn, but yet he just opened up his arms to you and said, "Let's go." You know, and I tell, like, it goes back to the young people, is if you want to learn something, go work under someone.
Yeah.
Go learn from them for free. Don't expect nothing. Go learn.
Yeah.
Get a skill set. You know what I mean? Don't sit here and complain like there's no one wanting to help you, or, you know, I don't know how to do it. Like, find someone who does. Ask them to teach you.
Right.
If he says no, go to the next guy and the next guy. Somebody eventually will teach you what you want to know.
Right.
You know, and that's the deal.
Dude, I always tell people, money follows value. Period. So like the more value you can give, the more money you'll get.
Yeah.
How do you give more value? You become more valuable. How do you do that? You learn skills.
Yeah.
You learn knowledge, like, and then you apply that stuff. So many people are like, knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. And that's BS, because it's only powerful if you use the knowledge.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The
Right?
application of the knowledge.
100%.
Yeah. And that's another thing is people do learn. So you got all these people that go around, they're going from different coaching different events, and they're learning all this stuff, and they're not applying any of it.
Yeah.
They go 4 or 5 events a year. They're like, yeah, I'm at this guy, I'm at Cardone, I'm all, and they're just like back at home at their job 3 weeks later, not applying the knowledge like you're saying.
An adventurepreneur. I just made up that word. Put that in the dictionary.
Did you just make it up right now?
I just made that up. An adventurepreneur.
They're going to eventually do it.
It's going to be the dictionary. Webster's.
Maybe not. Adventurepreneur, guys. There it is. I like it. Yeah, we got to put that one in there. Eventually you will be, quite possibly, if you're not afraid. Yeah, I mean, take that first step.
100%.
So like the Mr. Burr thing, that came from the that acronym. Is that how you got how
The
you
Burr
started
method?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was,
Besides that being your last name.
right. So like Templeton and I, we were doing those deals together, right? So I'm bringing him deals, and we're doing them together. We had done 8 by March. I think it was probably February. We're walking a property, and he's like, dude, you've just done an amazing job kind of riding my wave. Because I would go to these meetups and I would use his name as almost like to legitimize myself. I'd be like, yeah, my partner is Templeton Walker. And everyone knew him. Mm-hmm. They didn't know me yet, right? So I was kind of riding the wave he had created. And he's like, dude, there's something about you that you can like differentiate yourself. I'm holding you back if you just keep doing what you're doing. So figure out what's like unique about you, lean into that, and like create your own wave. And I was like, all right. So I started thinking about like, there's the Burr method. My last name's Burr. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, why don't I just be Mr. Burr? Because I am. And then I told him that, and he's like, that's genius. Let's make a music video. So we did a spoof music video.
So you did one.
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous. It's on my YouTube. Have you heard that song by Chingy? It's like back in like the early 2000s. It's called Right There. I like the way you do that right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we made a music video to that. I wrote the lyrics while I'm at the gym. And I'm like, we got like fake grills in our mouth.
Hold on, the guy, your mentor is in the video as well.
Yeah, he's like my hype man in the video.
Oh wow.
And he's like, it's just the dumbest video, but it actually got us like some deals for the Burr method. So it would go like, I like it when you send me a burr. I'll do a fix and flip. Yeah, sure. But I like it when you send me a burr. It's just the method that I prefer. And then I start rapping, and it's just stupid, man. But we got some deals from it, and then I became Mr. Burr. So I made shirts. I got the chain. And
for people that don't know what the Burr method is, what does it mean?
So it's you buy a property, You renovate it to boost its value. You get a renter in there to start covering your payments. You refinance to get all your money back out. Now you have your money back out. You repeat the process.
Yeah. So it's a system.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the BRRRR method. I like that you created that, dude. That you found something that differentiates yourself from everyone else.
Yeah.
There's too many people that want to be like someone else. Too many actors out there. You know what I mean? They want to create their own persona, but they're really copying someone else's persona.
Right.
You know, they're putting on glasses or wearing something, whatever the hell they're doing. You know. But yeah, there's no other Mr. Burr.
No, I mean, there's my dad. So like,
Yeah, but he ain't Mr. Burr.
You know what's funny, man, is I've had people reach out to me on social media and they're like, dude, this person's doing your method. They think it's like my method that I created. And then people will
like,
meet me.
That mother.
Yeah, people will meet me, dude. And it's like, they'll be like, oh, Mr. Burr. And like, when I think of Mr. Burr, I think of my dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, just call me Devin. Like, Mr. Burr is just the brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy what it's kind of become.
You're like you're a teacher, an elder. But no, yeah, the Mr. Burr, the brand is like, that's killer, dude. Like, I don't think I can ever create a brand. Maybe, I don't know. Although some people call me Mr. Extreme because all the companies are extreme, but I don't call myself that. But
you should start
something, huh?
Mr. Extreme.
And so you're flipping now. COVID happens. COVID tore up a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It also made a lot of people really wealthy.
Yeah.
So it whacked you, and you stopped doing the fix and flips, or what happened?
No, man. So what happened was, really, I was stuck in my house like everyone else. So I'm like, I got to become more valuable. Again, money follows value.
Mm-hmm.
So I started like really diving into reading books, listening to podcasts, and I heard this podcast about becoming the bank. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, because I came from like that financial industry where I understood interest rates and amortization and how banks will lend money on certain assets. I understood all that.
Yeah.
So becoming the bank just made sense to me. And I went down a rabbit hole. I started researching everything I could find. I'm reading all the books. I'm like researching articles in bed at like 2 a.m. with my wife. She's like waking up, like smacking me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to change our lives. This is what I'm doing. So then like I became like an expert at this becoming the bank concept. And then I started doing it with my real estate deals, and it just blew up. Like my wealth skyrocketed, and I'm just like, this is amazing. I got to tell more people. I got to tell people about this. So I got on social media with it about December of 2020 on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I made one video. It was like, I think it was my third video, and it just blew up overnight. Like overnight I had like 18,000 followers. And then I'm like, I think I'm onto something here. So I just kept doing it. After like 2 months, so February of 2021, I had 250,000 followers on TikTok. And now everyone's asking me like how they can become the bank.
Yeah. So at that time you weren't doing, you weren't doing the infinite banking, like really. Were you doing it? Were you signed up? Were you an agent? Were you all that stuff yet or not? Yeah.
No. So I was just a practitioner.
Yeah.
I was just practicing the concept.
Okay.
In my own life. So it was working. So I'm just like, this is cool. Let me tell people. And then it hit me when I had this following. Everyone's asking me to do it. So they're like, how do I do it? And I would just send them to the person that got me started.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen when you talked about that that first time. So you were sending him all these leads.
Yeah, just free business. Didn't even occur to me like to monetize it.
You weren't even like, hey, give me a cut.
No. Like I was not thinking of it as a moneymaker. I'm just thinking like, let me give value. It'll come back somehow.
Yeah.
And then it hit me. I'm like, well, this is really dumb. Like, why don't I just be him? Because I'm already teaching these people how to do it.
Yeah.
They already know what they're doing. And then I send them to him and he's just getting layups. Why don't I just be him? So yeah, I started setting everything up for people in March of 2021.
Okay. And
since then I've set up over 3,000.
That's nice.
So, and all just from social media.
And that's so the infinite banking, for people who don't understand, can you explain that? I mean, I know what it is, but you know, what types of policies, all that stuff.
So infinite banking is really just taking back the banking function in your life.
Yeah.
So if you think about a banking function in your life, what you do is you take your money and you put it in the bank. That's where you store your money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've been taught to do. And then when you need money, you go take it out, or you get a loan from the bank.
Yeah.
Right? If you get a loan from the bank, you're paying the bank interest to borrow their money, which is really our money because they just lend out our money.
Yeah.
Right? So it's taking back that function so that instead of you paying the bank, you are the bank. So when you borrow from yourself and you pay yourself back with the same interest you would have paid the bank. So that at its core is all it is. And it's just using an asset that is guaranteed to grow and you're just borrowing against it. So it's kind of like a house. If someone has a house, if they make a payment on their house, they build equity.
Yeah.
Right? Now they can use that equity if they get an equity line of credit from the bank.
Yes.
The bank is using the house as collateral, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing. Becoming your own bank, you have an asset like a house that when you put money into it, it builds equity, just like a house. It's guaranteed to keep building equity. That's the cool part. Houses aren't. They can go up and down, right?
Totally.
This is guaranteed to keep going up, tax-free. And then all you do is you borrow against it, just like you do with a bank. You're borrowing over here using your money as collateral, just like you're using a house as collateral when you borrow from the bank.
Yeah. Now, you're saying, you're telling everybody to leverage their money, but what's the vehicle?
See, I don't like telling the vehicle at first because as soon as I say it, people are like, it's a scam.
Okay, so we won't tell the vehicle then.
So let's put it this way. This vehicle has been around for several hundred years.
Yeah.
Okay. It's stood the test of time. It's been through the Civil War, the Great Depression, World War I, World War II, meltdown of 2008, swine flu, bird flu, COVID. Through all these different things, this vehicle has stood the test of time and it's been profitable.
Yeah.
Think about
the
that.
Wealthiest of the wealthiest have utilized it.
Yes. So we're talking about the Rockefeller family. We're talking about Ray Kroc with McDonald's used this vehicle to
Rothschilds.
franchise McDonald's.
Yeah.
The Rothschilds, JP Morgan Chase, Pampered Chef, even Joe Biden used it for his campaigning.
Bro, we don't say his name on my podcast.
That's
Is he even alive still?
That's a different story. We can go down that, but
We will.
but yeah, so like it's been around forever. The wealthiest families use it. It's protected against lawsuits and judgments.
Yeah.
So people can't touch money when you have it here.
Yeah.
If you have it in the bank, they can take it on lawsuits and judgments. And here's the crazy part. When you borrow against it, you never have to pay the loan back. So people think like when they think of loans, they think of a payment. They think of debt. When you borrow against this, you're in total control whether you pay it back or not.
Yeah.
So you have unhindered control over your money.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of. So you can borrow against it. You don't have to pay it back unless you want to. You should, but you don't have to. Even if you borrow against it, it still is guaranteed to keep going up in value. And that's why we use this vehicle also because banks use the vehicle. Totally. Banks have billions and billions and billions of dollars of this. So are banks stupid or are banks really smart?
No, they're smart. You know, it's in the Bible, there's a scripture. I don't know the scripture, but it says you're to be the lender, not the borrower.
Right.
It's biblical.
Right.
You know, and I really believe that we're created to be the lender, not the borrower.
Right.
We should, like, the struggle shouldn't be the struggle. It should be you have so much that you've been entrusted with that you're able to lend. You're the bank.
Right.
Dude, it fits perfect for you because, and I didn't realize you had a banking background in the mortgages and stuff. So it really comes real natural, you know, explaining it and stuff. Another thing I see, like with you, that I really like, I like is the personality and how you do your post. You know, like you're out there, bro. Your glasses, no glasses. I think you had fake teeth one time or something. Did you, or was it
the hillbilly teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked at your stuff last couple of years and stuff, and I'm like, I'm too afraid to do anything like that. Like, where'd you get that idea from? Like, who? Like, was that like some comedy Eddie Murphy dude or something, or was your mentor doing that?
That was
interesting.
just during COVID, man, being bored.
But you still kind of do some of that stuff.
Yeah, because my mentor always told me, he's like, dude, there's really an industry that weathers any kind of economy, and it's entertainment. Like, people will pay to be entertained even if they're broke.
It's true.
So if you can intertwine entertainment into education, you're going to do really well with your content. So I was like, let me just try to be funny sometimes, but also not just be funny to be funny to grab their attention and then give them value.
Is this your new mentor, your latest mentor?
No, my original one, Templeton.
Okay.
Dude, because like what I talk about, it's not sexy. Like, and I'll let everyone know what it is now. It's properly structured.
You don't have to.
Whole life insurance. That's all it is. And it's like.
But you know what though? Listen, everyone can go online and start looking this stuff up. But if it ain't structured right, it's 100%. Useless. It's totally useless if it's not structured right and if you ain't using it right.
Right.
So it's got to be the right person like yourself.
Right.
Putting you in that vehicle, explaining how to drive that vehicle, and keeping that vehicle full of fuel.
The problem is, though, the agent is actually incentivized to screw you over.
Well, they want to get you in the highest policy.
Right. The higher the death benefit, the higher the commissions.
Yeah.
So all we do is we lower the death benefit so that our commissions are lower. And then we have our clients overfund the death benefit to get cash value. Mm-hmm. And that's how you build your banking system.
Are you doing preferred financing or anything like that?
For what?
Have you done preferred financing?
Yeah. Yeah, so we've done pretty much everything if it's in that realm of infinite banking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't touch term insurance, I don't do regular whole life, I don't do IULs. Properly structured
infinite banking.
Whole life insurance.
Yeah, infinite banking. No, it's cool that I didn't know you only did that. I know you promote that. I didn't know you didn't touch other things.
Yeah.
And 3,000 deals is a lot of deals.
Yeah, I mean, it's if I would have been selling regular whole life, I'd be making a lot more money, but it's not about that. It's about helping a lot of people, because the more people I help, I'm going to make a lot of money.
Yeah. You're
right. So I make less per policy, but with a bunch of policies, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just all about helping people, helping them become the bank. Because I did it first just as like a practitioner. So I never sell policies. I never sell life insurance. I just explain a concept. And if people really understand that concept, all the benefits, they're like, well, yeah, how do I do it? And then I just set it up.
Yeah. No, like you said though, and like we were saying, it has to be set up correctly.
Yeah.
If it's not, it's a waste. I mean, you could totally lose a lot of money if it's not set up right.
Yeah. If it's not set up right, it's more of a benefit for your family.
It's benefit if you're dead.
Right. So when you die, your family is hooked up if it's not set up correctly.
Yeah.
Because the death benefit's real high.
So and what I'm learning is, especially in the life insurance game, all that stuff, is the living benefits are the best.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks about, and I'm learning all this now. Everybody thinks life insurance, well, just in case I die. Well, why do you want to die?
Right.
You know.
And it's like, not just in case you die, you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
It's just you don't know when.
And maximize it while you're living.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way we do it, dude, it's really unique because it's not about the death benefit so much. It's more about the need for capital when you're alive. Because if you really think about it, the average American spends over 37 cents per dollar that they make towards interest.
Yeah.
And that's on average, because most people don't pay debts off.
In California, it's
probably more.
Higher. Yeah.
So if you really stop and think about it, that's their entire life. Most people don't pay off a car.
30-40% of all your revenue you're ever going to get.
Ever.
Gone.
That's after the IRS takes their money, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why people can't get ahead, because they're always paying interest. And they go get a car, let's say, on like a 6-year loan. They don't pay it off. They go trade it in. So now they have more interest. They reset the clock. Mm-hmm. Same with houses. Mortgages are amortized to have all the interest in the first like 7 to 8 years, most of it.
Yeah, you're not paying nothing towards your principal.
Right. So in the first like 7 to 8 years, you paid like 80% of each dollar towards interest. So when you refinance or you go get a new house, you're just resetting that clock. People are trapped in this hamster wheel of interest to other people. So their need for money and not being able to pay interest to the bank is more valuable now than their need for a death benefit later. But the cool thing is we structure it to where they have this cash value now. They can become the bank, start paying themselves interest. And then the way we design it is the death benefit rises over time. So when they're likely to die, their death benefit's actually higher than if they just set up a normal policy.
Yeah.
So they get their cake and they get to eat it too.
That's
their
good.
family gets hooked up when they die as well.
Yeah. And so you've said, like, with your system, you've purchased items, I don't know, like some homes and
Everything. Yeah.
just right out of the system, right
Yep.
out of your own bank.
Yep.
The bank of, what do you call it? The Bank of Devin? The
Bank of Burr.
Bank of Burr. Bank of Burr. I like that. I think more people need to get, knowledge on this idea from you, not just going, go out and start searching out insurance companies.
Yeah.
Because you're going to screw it all up anyways. But what are some deals you could do out of this system? Say I have the infinite banking system. What are some deals I could do?
So you can do anything you use money with. Anything.
So instead of going to my bank, I'm going to go to my bank.
Yeah, instead of going to Chase, Wells
Yeah.
Fargo,
Yeah, Chase is not my bank, I guess.
Bank of America, whoever you bank with.
Yeah.
So let's say you're going to go buy a car. Most people, they know that you can buy a car one of three ways. You can pay cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dave Ramsey is going to say always pay cash because then you don't pay interest to the bank, right?
Yeah, he's also wealthy as hell.
And he also, we won't go down that
Yeah.
road, but so
Let's
if
just
you
go
pay
down the road,
cash
bro.
though,
Go
here's
ahead.
the problem.
Yeah.
You're giving up that money's opportunity to make you money
Mm-hmm.
now. It's called lost opportunity cost. So if you go buy a car, let's say 50 grand cash, that's probably the average rate of a car right now,
Yeah,
right?
decent car.
So 50 grand, that 50 grand can never make you money ever again now. It's gone.
It's gone.
You got the car.
Actually, it's now 40 grand once you drive off the lot.
True. So you've already lost money. The 50 grand can never make you money. So that's one way you can buy a car. That's not smart because now you've lost the 50 grand's opportunity cost.
Mm-hmm.
You can lease a car, but then you just have a rental car.
Mm-hmm.
And then every payment you're paying towards that lease, that money's gone. You
Yeah.
can never make
Never
money
get
with that
that.
ever again.
Yeah.
And then you can finance a car. So you go get a bank loan and you pay them interest. Again, every time you make a payment, that money's gone forever and the interest is gone forever too.
Yeah.
So you pay more for the car and the money's gone. Those are the three ways. You can go steal a car too. I don't suggest
That's
doing
the fourth
that.
way, guys. That's the old Devin.
That's
Before
old Mr.
moving-
Burr.
Before moving.
So those are the three ways. All you're doing with infinite banking, you're changing one thing, and it's where the money goes first.
Yeah.
So you're putting it into your policy that's structured properly. So think about what people do with their money now is they put it in the bank. You're just changing where it goes. You're putting it in your bank. And then what you're doing is you're taking a loan against it to go buy the car cash. And then all you do is treat this money just like you would treat the bank's money. You pay it back with interest.
It's going back to you. Everything's going back to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're getting all the money back for that car, plus the interest you would have paid to the bank. And the entire time, let's say that car was 50 grand, that 50 grand never stopped compounding because you didn't remove it. You borrowed against it.
Yeah.
You borrowed your future death benefit is what you did while you're alive.
So can a normal person get into infinite banking? Say they're not an entrepreneur. They got a 9 to 5. They're doing okay. They're saving their money. They're not overspending like you talked about. They can get into it too. It doesn't have to be in this big high level conglomerate thing, right?
No, the more you can do starting out, the more you can use the policy. Obviously.
So the more you fund it.
Yeah, if you fund 100 grand right away, you've got a bunch of cash value you can use right away. If you put in $1,000, there's not much cash value.
Yeah.
So you'd have to let it build up. So yeah, you could start for as little as your age times 10 per month. I think you said you were at 44?
44, yeah.
So you could technically start for $440 a month. Problem is, you can't do much with that right away. You'd have to let it build up.
So then it's up to me to fund that.
Right. It's up to you to use it as like a forced savings account. And then once it's built up to where you've got a few $1,000, take a loan, pay off a credit card. Whatever that credit card payment was, pay it back to your policy. Now you're getting that 20, 25% you were paying to the credit card company.
It's high now. I think it's like 28% or something. I don't know. They keep going up.
So you'd be getting
Bidenomics,
that.
bro, it keeps going up.
But yeah, anyone can do it, dude. And The problem with it is people's mindsets are just so, they're warped with what everyone says, like insurance is a scam. People think it's a horrible place to put money because they don't know about this kind of structure.
Yeah.
They think of regular whole life. If it's regular whole life, you and I both agree it's a horrible place to put money because you can't use any of it for a long time.
Yeah.
With this, you can use it right away.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I didn't realize people had such a bad taste for it. Probably because bad policies are put out there. Because you do have bad agents that are putting out bad policies.
Just to get a big
They're
commission.
told to sell.
Yeah.
Who cares about the customer? So like, you're educating every customer through the whole process. Here's what you could do.
Yep. What our team does, man, is we never sell a policy. Like I've told all of my agents.
I'm asking all this because I'm curious. I've learned a little bit, but I'm asking all these questions for me selfishly.
That's good, but everyone else will get
Everyone
value
else
too.
learning it. Yeah.
So what we do is I've told all the agents, like, never sell. No one wants to be sold. Just explain how the concept works. That's it. If people really understand the concept, they'll want to do it. And if they don't, then just give them training material, send them to my YouTube, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we do is I bring the leads in from my content. They go into a funnel where they have to register for a training video. They have to watch that video before they can get on a phone call. And the video just explains everything. It shows actual numbers of how you can go buy a car, how you can get all the money back, how you can go pay off debt. And it just gives them more of an idea of how the concept really works. Then they can get on a call, get all their questions answered. If someone wants to set up a policy, we set it up. We don't charge a penny. We get paid when they fund the policy with the insurance company.
Yeah.
So the insurance company pays us for bringing them business.
Yeah. Commission, small commission.
Yep.
A stipend. That's totally cool, dude. So I want to switch gears a little bit because we were talking about, I brought up Biden earlier.
Okay. I don't know if he's alive still. No one knows.
Is he alive, bro?
Kamala will say he is.
So are you following world news, politics? Do you follow all that stuff? I mean, I do. But
I don't really, man, because, like, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Please, guys, if this, like...
Go bash them.
If this rubs you the wrong way, I apologize. But if something happens, let's say in China, or something happens in Ethiopia, or wherever, if I don't know about it, it doesn't affect me. If I know about it, I can't do anything about it.
Actually,
Right?
it'll affect you if you know about it.
Right, it'll affect my mindset and all that.
You
So
get angry.
I don't watch the news, and like so many people have told me, like, dude, why don't you do that? Don't you want to know what's going on? And I'm like, no, because like it doesn't affect me if I don't know. But if I know, now my mindset's all jacked up, thinking the world's broken. My life is really, really good because I have this view of the world that it's really good. People are good people. So guess what? The people I encounter are good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just have this belief that whatever you think the world is, that's what your world will be. I can't control everything. So I don't follow the news. I don't follow politics. I actually put up a post right after Trump, the assassination attempt. You know, the picture? It's just a cool picture.
Yeah.
It's like an epic picture.
The fight picture.
Epic picture.
Yeah.
So I put it up on my social media on Instagram and then
Got it tattooed, bro. I'm just kidding.
across your whole back. I put that up and I'm like, this is an epic picture. I had like the song Many Men
Yeah.
Wish
50
Death
Cent.
Upon Me. So I had that up and then I'm like, it's an epic picture, but what the hell is wrong with people? This guy was an inch away from getting murdered.
Yeah, we're
That's all I
celebrating.
said.
Yeah.
It wasn't about politics, nothing. And there were so many people in the comments like, oh, you're a clown supporting this guy. I'm like, I'm a clown because I think it's ridiculous. He almost died. Like, just crazy, man. So I had probably 3,000 people like unfollow me because of it. So
They're all
I don't get
Democrats.
into politics,
Yeah.
man. I don't get into all that because it's just poison in my opinion.
Do you think though that the country's in a bad place?
I think a lot of things are broken.
Yeah.
For sure.
Systems. Yeah.
A lot of things are broken. The main thing I think is the monetary system, the way we have it set up, with fractional reserve lending, with fiat currency. I think all that is really, really messed up. And then there's some other things that are pretty jacked up too.
Like what?
Like, prime example, during COVID, you know how like the whole Black Lives Matter thing happened, right?
Yeah.
So my best friend growing up, half black, right? I never really thought there was any racism towards him or anything like that. I never really saw it, right? And maybe it's because I wasn't looking for it. I never really thought people were racist. I think there are probably racist people,
Yeah.
right? But again, my world is what I believe it to be. So if I don't think there's racist people, I'm not going to be coming in contact with them because I'm not looking for it.
Yep.
Right. So when that all happened, I went to his work and I started talking to him like, man, this is crazy. Like, I don't understand all this stuff. He's like, what do you mean you don't understand it? And he like got defensive with me. I'm like, I don't understand it. Like, people aren't really this racist. And he's like, I can't believe you're saying it. He got like really pissed off. And I was like, dude, what are you getting mad about? Because I don't think people are that racist. So that's the kind of stuff I think is broken, is people's beliefs and just how people are. They're so quick to judge.
Yeah, I think we need more God, bro. Do you go to church?
I do.
Yeah, I think we need more God. I think we need some more like, it softens things. You know what I mean? So in the Bible, it says, do not be conformed to the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right. You're not supposed to, even though I follow the news, you're not supposed to. You're like you said, you're supposed to live your best life, protect your family, you know, all that stuff. And but it is crazy because it's just like the stigma is out there, the hate is out there, and you have more of the more you have of one thing, the less you have of another thing, whether it's, you know, Black Lives Matter or LGBT, A, B, C, D, F, G, you know, all that stuff. It becomes, there's always the argument, the fight. There's always the good and the bad, right? You know, and so what like for your friend, do you still talk to him? Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, bro? But like, he's probably felt something, right? Because he probably had, like, I've had, and I'm not even full Mexican, I'm half. And I've had people racial profile me, whether I go in and I'm doing okay for myself, but I'll go in like junkie and stuff, and they're like, think I'm gonna steal something, or they're following me around the store. I'm like, dude, what are you following me for? I got more money than everybody in the damn store. But it does happen. Right. But like you said, I don't believe there's a lot of racial people either, because everyone I know, it's like, I'm cool with everybody.
What I think it is, it's like, I'm a big believer in propaganda.
Yeah.
Like the media puts into people's minds what they want them to believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So if Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. But if they're pushing that, people are starting to think, oh, there's racism. Mm-hmm. So perfect example. We'd be at the grocery store during that time. I don't have a racist bone in my body. I went to predominantly black school. Like I actually am part black. Like 23andMe verified, baby. But
what's 23andMe?
It's like that where you give like saliva and it pulls up
like
your DNA and yeah. So yeah, but basically I don't have a racist bone in my body, right? I love people, period. And we would go to a grocery store and I would like, if I caught eyes with like a black guy, I'm like, oh, he probably thinks I'm looking at him like I'm racist. And then I'd look away and I'm like, fuck, now he really thinks I'm racist.
You don't even want to look at him.
So then I would look back at him and then I'm staring at him too long. I'm like, damn it. So like, it's just in your mind now, right?
No, it's true.
Because of the propaganda.
It's true.
Like, I'm not racist, but I looked at the guy, so now I'm like, oh, he probably thinks I'm racist.
Yeah.
And now I'm probably looking at him like I'm racist. You know what I mean?
No, it is a media thing, because you have, and it's the opposite. Like, you have white people think black people don't like them. You got black people think white people don't like them. You got black people think cops don't like them. You got cops thinking black people don't like them, or brown. It's mostly a black and white thing, to be honest. But it's all pushed by the media,
right?
Because like you said, is everybody's just a human. You know, if you're just a normal person, you know, you're a man and married to a woman, which is normal. There's nothing to be hateful about.
Right.
There's no.
We're gonna get into that, like him and her and they and all that stuff, all the pronouns.
What are they?
You haven't heard all this?
No.
Like how people are like, I'm a they, or I'm a them.
Oh, they do that on social media everywhere, huh?
Yeah, it's like you're a guy or a girl.
Yeah.
Like, what were you born as?
Man or woman?
You're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
And then there's all these arguments like if you change it, now you're not. And it's like,
What do you mean if you change what?
if you change your sex.
Oh, yeah, but there's no way because that's who you were. You were born that way.
Yeah.
That's like this is the biggest thing. Like the thing that bothers me the most is this stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
You know
how they're making it like okay in schools for that to be a thing.
Dude,
and like parents are pushing that.
Hold on, don't you have a baby? You have a new baby, right? Is that your baby?
8 months old.
Yeah. Imagine she's a girl, right? Girl. It's pretty. You've been posting her a lot. Imagine though, like she's 6. All right. Was that first grade?
Yeah, first, second grade.
And she goes to a school that goes to 8th grade, and some 8th grade boy goes in her bathroom.
Because he identifies as a girl.
Dude,
there's some weirdos now that identify as like dogs.
What are they doing? Are they crawling around, barking and stuff?
Yeah,
Really?
like I identify as a dog, so I'm a dog. It doesn't. There's I think it's Tony Robbins talks about there's like human needs that everyone has.
Yeah.
It's a need for like variety. So like you always need things to be a little different or you get bored, right? There's a need for things to be constant as well. Like if it's too much variety, you get like uneasy. There's also a need for significance. People need to feel significant some way.
Important.
And I think that like this is part of it. Like this generation needs to feel significant. So they're like, how can I do that? I'm going to identify as a dog.
But do you think they're going down the wrong hole, like rabbit hole? Like nobody
100%.
wants to see a person acting like a dog or a man acting like a woman. So
we're about to get canceled for all this.
Hey,
telling you.
Seriously. But so like you want the attention. They're not sure who they are, but the life becomes harder.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how can that be better for you to change who you were born for some other attention that you've missed?
Yeah.
There's no way it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's screwed up. Did you see? Yeah, like some of these that new vice president guy he's not vice. I hope he's not going to be the vice president. I mean, some of these Democrats are like, they're okay for all this stuff. They're passing these laws. They're, these sex books in schools and stuff like that.
It's crazy.
And that's what I'm trying to tell people is like, your kids or your grandkids will have to be a part of this. How
Mine
do you
won't.
want them to live? Like,
mine won't.
well, I mean,
Private school.
yeah, but the society is becoming this way. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I've told the story several times, and my daughter, my youngest, she's actually, what is she? She's a sophomore now. I think she's a sophomore now. We took her out of normal school. I think it was 7th, 8th grade, and out of public school. The teacher, she had a new teacher that year, took down the American flag. This is a true story. Took down the American flag and put up the gay pride flag. So, like, okay, say you're gay. Keep your flag at home. Don't mess with the American flag, though. Like, you gotta, like, if you're in America, I really believe this. Dominic's laughing. Oh, you're laughing. No, it's true, though. If you're in America, you should honor and respect the country.
100%.
If I lived in France, I wouldn't claim to be French, but I would honor them.
Right.
And respect them.
Right.
You know? So, and like people that are here in America, they're still in the most freest country. You know, they have those freedoms, and yet they abuse them. They go burn the flags, change who they are. They're not sure. And then I feel like they're like people are watching America, copying America.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you see what's like. I actually, you don't watch world news, but I'll tell you the world news. No, like the Venezuela, the elections. I don't know if you've seen anything on the elections.
Mm-mm.
2 guys win. They both claim they won presidency. All right. One guy's like a gangster, and he's like, "Hey, if I don't win, basically, shit's going down, and we're gonna start killing some people." So then instantly overnight he wins. He wins overnight. And then so the other team was like, yeah, we're winning. And then this dude wins overnight, and they're like, hey, well, where's the votes at?
Just a scare tactic.
They literally went on and made an announcement, had a party, a celebration, everything that he won. But I'm like, that's funny because they kind of copied what happened to us in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're setting the precedence for all this craziness, this madness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. But like you said, is if we're worried more about ourselves, our families, go to church, then
I think it always comes back to the Bible, man. Like if people just, like, there was Adam and Eve.
Not Steve?
It was not Adam and Steve. Like, Adam didn't think he was Audrey. You know what I mean? Like,
Why Audrey, bro?
I don't know.
That's racist.
Amanda, Aubrey, whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we just go back to that,
To the basics.
the truth of the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And then go back to the fact that you can only affect your micro economy. Like the macro economy, like, you really don't have much control over it. You really don't. Whoever's in office, it does not matter. It does not matter. So I don't vote. I voted one time. It was the last election because I was like, if Biden gets into office, dude didn't even know who he was back then, right? Couldn't even like put together a sentence back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm voting for Trump, and Trump lost. I was like, it's rigged.
Yeah.
Now I'm really never going to vote again, right? Doesn't matter who gets in office. If you control your micro economy, that's all you can do. And the more you control this, it sends ripples out to people around you. Like, because I've become successful in my life, I'm the first millionaire, first multimillionaire in my family.
You need to get your wife a new car.
She won't let me. She won't let me, bro. But I have this conversation often. She won't let me. But like, the more I've become successful and my beliefs have trickled over to my family, who have always had broke beliefs.
Yeah.
So like, my parents now have different beliefs than they used to have. My brothers and sisters have different beliefs because of me. I affected that through my micro economy, right? And then as they do that, it affects maybe their friends and people they talk to, right? That's all we can do. Go back to the Bible and focus on your micro economy. That's it.
Yeah. No, I think it's true. I think you should vote, though.
Never again.
You should, bro. You should, like, even if Trump doesn't run the world, as long as he's there, we know we're in a little better place. So whoever's running that position, they're kind of on a little more on our side.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, though. Everybody's on their own side.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't even do any good anymore. After this last election,
it's madness.
It's rigged.
It's madness.
They've already got the election figured out. They already know who's winning. That's my belief now.
Well, they made a bait and switch. So you think they know? Do you think Kamala's winning? Dude, that's like a wrestler name. Did you ever watch wrestling?
Yeah, WWE.
Yeah.
Back in the day, dude, I used to love it.
Kamala's like some wrestler name or something, huh?
Oh, dude, I used to geek out on like Hulk Hogan and all those guys back in the day. The Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. A lot of those dudes are dead. Steroids.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's like 70 something.
Yeah, that dude's old. He's still big.
Yeah.
He
Limping around though.
Yeah, well, he's beat up, dude.
All that juice.
Yeah, all those years.
Say no to the roids.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on that stuff.
TRT is good though. I recommend that. I'm on it. Been on it for 4 or 5 years.
What does that do for you?
So I do it properly. Like, some people will just like take a bunch of testosterone. TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. So it's done through my doctor. They do a blood panel every 6 months, and they basically just get me back to where I was when I was like my late 20s.
Yeah.
On my testosterone.
What number
levels.
is that? 900 or 1100?
I think it's 900.
Okay.
Something like that. So, and then if I'm too high, that can cause issues with like blood clotting and stuff like that. So then they'll back off it. So like, it's done properly for me. And it just, again, makes it to where I'm like where I was when I was in my 20s. So I'm able to stay in pretty good shape, good energy levels. I sleep well. But I'm not walking around like some freaking yoked up monster.
That's going to have some serious issues.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get your doctor's name after this, because I'm working with one guy, but he doesn't fully commit. So I only got like some pills.
Yeah.
I think they're like DHEA and something else.
Yeah, let me know. I can hook you up. It's actually crazy through my chiropractor.
Okay.
So my chiropractor has like this, it's not just a chiropractic office. They do everything. So they've got like all these like different things for muscle therapy and like tendons. They've got a registered nurse on staff.
Nice.
So the registered nurse is the one that does my blood panels.
Yeah.
And she administers the shots for me because I don't like needles. So like I just go in once a week. It was this morning actually, every Wednesday. I go in, she gives me a shot in each butt cheek. Good to go.
Nice.
Been doing that for 5 years.
Not that it's in the butt cheek, but you get the shot.
She's surprisingly gentle.
So with the TRT though, so you got more energy.
Yeah.
Like you're not falling asleep during the day kind of type. Because, dude, I was like that. So Dominic right here is he's taking me on this fitness journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes to my house. He's training me. He's pushing. He whoops me. I don't know. I probably lost like 20 or 30 pounds. How much pounds do you think I lost, Dominic?
I think you're at 240, almost 240 when you started.
So this morning I was at 207. So I'm doing okay. You know, I hadn't worked out for like 20 years type thing, you know, a long time. And I was just like fat and weak.
How long you guys been working out for?
Probably since January, I think. We tried to start in December, but I was
7 months
traveling. Yeah.
So I used to be in bodybuilding. You saw like the pictures from when I was like in my late 20s. I was jacked, like 3% body fat. And I talk to people all the time about getting in shape. Most people don't realize that like you were not working out for like 10 years, right? You said?
Longer, yeah.
So it took you a long time to get out of shape. It's going to take you a long time to get in shape. But most people just want it to happen like that.
Yeah.
They want the magic pill. They think, I put up a post about me jacked and people are like, oh, you just take steroids. I'm like, you can't just take steroids and look like this. If you did, everyone would just look like this.
Yeah.
If you just take steroids, you'll probably look fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you have to have a clean diet. You have to sleep well. You have to do cardio. You have to work your ass off. Even if you're taking all the steroids in the world, they'll help you, but you have to do the things consistently that get you in shape.
Yeah, you got to put in
Drinking a lot of water, getting a lot of sleep so your muscles and then your body can repair itself. Working out at least 5 days a week. I work out 7 days a week. And if I'm not working out that day, I'm at the gym doing foam rolling, I'm stretching, I'm doing the sauna, cold plunging. So like I've consistently done that for like the last 15 years. And most people will say like, dude, you're about to be 40? Because I don't look like I'm about to be 40.
Yeah.
It's because I take care of myself.
Take care of yourself. Yeah, and I didn't take care of myself for years, bro. Like I used to do a lot of drugs when I was younger. A lot of drugs. I was a big drug addict for 10 years straight.
What kind?
All of them. Meth, crack,
Wow.
Sherm, PCP. This is when I was
You
younger.
name it.
You name it. Yeah, I did them all for years. I started the first time I did drugs, heavy drugs, not weed, heavy drugs. I was 13.
Wow.
I quit at 23.
Like, were you truly addicted?
Yeah. So I would do drugs anytime they were in front of me. And at one point, when I was 20, I just turned 20. My mom had died, and she had given me up when I was 7, but I still had a relationship with her.
Yeah.
And I was so angry that I went off the deep end. That's when I got my worst.
Yeah.
So 20, 21 into 22, stopped working, basically homeless, moving around place to place.
Wow.
Like a bum, straight bum, you know, drug addict bum. And so I abused my body a lot, you know, and now I'm like, it cost me a little more.
Yeah.
You know, this is out there, you're listening, take care of yourself now. It'll be cheaper in the long run if you're thinking like financial, because now I have to pay for more doctor visits, more dentist visits, more whatever it is, you know?
So this was back in when you were 23 is when you got clean?
Uh-huh.
So you've been clean for 21 years?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. For our 20, 21, somewhere in there. Yeah.
So I tell people this all the time. It's like everyone's got a story. Everyone has like issues. Everyone has struggles. Everyone has like their trials and tribulations. No one's life's perfect. So people might look at someone like me or look at someone like you successful and think, oh, they were just born with it.
Yeah.
Like they haven't had any issues. They don't understand what I'm going through. And it's like right there, dude, you were a drug addict for 10 years. Now look at you, right? You made the right choices to get around the right people to consume the right kind of stuff to change your life. Anyone can do it. You just have to have, I'm a firm believer, you have to be at a point where you're fed up with being fed up. Until you're fed up, you won't make a change.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you have to be willing to be open to people loving on you,
Right.
wanting you to do better, not being so angry, you
Right.
know. But it's hard for some people to change.
Right.
Like I knew a lot of people, I mean, almost everybody I knew, if they did change, they're living a mediocre life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they still wouldn't go and they still have that mindset. I remember when I was younger, I don't know if you thought this way too, and I would be like, snob stale and all this. You get this mindset of like, oh, they think they're better. Well, do you really know if they think they're better?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And we're just setting ourselves up for failure.
Right.
Not even knowing, but it's just, like you said, it's back to a mindset.
Yeah, and if you're living like a mediocre life, it's because you're not fed up with that mediocre life.
Yeah.
The second you're fed up with a mediocre life, you'll go get an exceptional life.
It's true, because you're like, you know what? $15 is not going to get me nowhere.
Right.
I want to, and if you ain't trying it, like, I remember my father-in-law said, when they started changing their mindset, they would go to like, they started going, and this is a long time ago, but they started going to like the Biltmore area, hanging out over there. They started changing their environment and, started looking at nicer houses and all this stuff. And so like, I've done the same thing, and it's like, when you get around something nicer, someone smarter, someone wiser, whatever it is, you're kind of like, I want that. I want that. When you go to a nice restaurant and you're eating a really good steak at like Mastro's or something, you're like, oh, that's so good. The seafood tower, bro, it's bomb. It's like $350, but you want it again. Then you're like, well, if I want that again, I just got to work a little harder sometimes to get it.
What do I got to do to get it?
What do I got to do to get it?
Fly first class. You'll never want.
I haven't done it,
dude. You'll never want to go back. I flew first class once, and I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this.
$1,800. It's about $1,800.
It depends on where you're going, but I've flown.
It's usually like 3 times the amount, right? Or 4.
I don't know.
It just depends, I guess.
I don't even look anymore. I'm just like, I'm paying for this.
Yeah.
It's first class.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going and sitting in non-first class ever again. And it's like, I think people have to touch their dreams, right? If you want like a really nice house, go to open houses.
Yeah. Totally.
Like act like you can afford that house, get and touch that dream. If you want a Ferrari, go sit in some Ferraris, like touch that dream, feel it, smell it, touch it.
I believe in that.
And then you will get it, because the mind is a powerful thing. Once you start like really believing you deserve something, you can go get it. Period.
Yeah. And we my wife and myself went through that. When I met her, she was like way more positive than me and just a better person,
Isn't that funny how our wives are like that?
Yeah, she's just
my wife's so much better than I am.
Yeah, she's way better. I mean, she taught me like, I ate sushi for the first time with her. All the finer things were she introduced me. Now I'm probably more bougie than her now.
Yeah.
But she introduced me to all those things.
Yeah.
And and we started doing that when we started moving up with our houses and stuff like that. It's like we started going to big nice houses. Like, oh, I want this. We can have this. How much is this? Okay, I got to do this. I got to come up with this much down. Okay, what do I got to do? Maybe I can do it next year. And then eventually we worked into where we built a really nice house, and that's where we're at now. And now it's like, what's the next step? Mm-hmm. That's where we're at. What's the next step?
Yeah.
I'm always thinking like, what's next? We have, for us, like with our homes in specific, we've moved every 5 years, and just.
I call that gratefully unsatisfied. Like you're grateful for what you have,
Yeah.
but you're not satisfied with it. Like I'm grateful for everything I have, but I'm not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm very grateful for the house we have. We have a very nice house. It's worth probably 1.4 in Desert Ridge. It's a nice house, new build. But like, I'm not satisfied with that. It's got a 3-car garage. I want a 6-car. You know what I mean? I love cars. So just being gratefully unsatisfied with what you have, I believe will always have you level up to that next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what though? Like you're saying that I'm just making sure we got time. It took us a while. I think both of us went through this, even though like she taught me how to want better things, to actually go out and get it, because it was we had to go. I think we both went through this mindset where we had to say, because for a long time we wouldn't treat ourselves. It was real basic stuff for a long time, and then finally, I think 3 or 4, probably maybe 5 years ago, is when we moved in the first big house, and then we got judged, you know, and because that's what was happening. We started doing a little better. We started getting judged more. Mm-hmm. And so it got to a point where we were like kind of afraid to do certain things because we didn't want to be judged. And finally, we got that mind shift of we deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in the Bible, it says you're created in His image. He's royalty. We're royalty. We deserve it. We're not selfish people. We're big givers. You know, so we had to go through that mindset shift of we deserve to have more in life. We deserve the best of the best. You know what I mean? And if we want the best of the best, we got to move in that direction.
Right.
You know, so I love it, man. Listen, Devin, this has been a great conversation, bro.
There's going to be some clips from this. The guys in the back are going to clip this up for some viral content. That's for sure.
Bidenomics, Kamala, the wrestler. It's crazy.
A venturepreneur.
Wikipedia. We're going to put that on Wikipedia, bro.
100%. As long as we get royalty off of it.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
We'll write up some contracts. Chat GPT.
Yeah, it's been right here. Dude, I just wrote one for this guy this morning. I used Chat GPT for it.
Dude, I use chat for so much stuff. Like almost everything in my business I use through that.
Yeah, you create everything, bro.
It is insane. I just read this book. Highly recommend everyone listening to this. It's The Coming Wave. It's a long book, but it's all about AI and like all the crazy stuff that's coming from one of the main creators that was on the team for Google.
Nice.
His name's Mustafa something. But
is he a lion? Just kidding.
It's a crazy book, man. Like all the stuff that's gonna be possible in the next few years.
It's insane. I mean, like I said, I literally wrote because Zion. This is his first day, pretty much. I was like, "Hey, Chat, I need a social media manager agreement with," and I put the companies, and like it was less than a minute. I had a whole contract. It's in Word. All I gotta do is put his name in. I'm done.
Right.
It's pretty much binding. Actually, it is like it's binding.
What I would tell people is make sure that you keep developing skills because AI is going to take jobs, a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of jobs from people. So you have to keep becoming, again, I keep saying it, money follows value. Mm-hmm. So the more value you have, money's going to follow you. So keep getting value, keep getting skills, because if you don't, AI is going to take your job and you're going to be on unemployment.
You don't want to be on food stamps.
No.
Remember food stamps, bro? Did you have food stamps when you were little?
I was so broke.
No,
man.
like were they the stamp, the paper money still?
Yeah.
Because how old are you right now?
39.
So, yeah, okay, yeah. Remember that day? There were like different colors.
And stuff? I was on WIC for my first daughter. Yeah. She's 17 this year. So, dude, I was super broke. I had like 3 jobs. Barely saw her because I was working so much. And we used to have SRP where you'd have like a box where you have to prepay the card.
Money or what's it called? Empower?
Yeah. You prepay on a card and then like put it in the box and it would show you how much like electricity you got.
$5 a day at the store?
At most, bro. I'd see like $3.87. So I'm like, turn the lights off. Turn all the lights off.
You're done.
Use a flashlight.
It's 6 p.m. You're like, you guys are done. We're done.
Turn the AC up. It's 90 in the house. I know. Yeah, man.
That's funny.
I don't ever want to go back to that. That's for sure.
No, the good life. Man, so as we close, is there something you could say to the audience? You know, give them a nugget, something. I mean, we give them a lot of nuggets, but like leave them with one last thing, bro.
One last thing would really just, and we kind of touched on this, is your environment. Like who you surround yourself with is very, very, very important. Mm-hmm. If I could go back to my 17, 18-year-old self, I would literally just tell him, dude, get around people that you want to be like. You see them as like on this pedestal. Get around them, like ask them questions. What I've learned is the more successful someone is, they're an open book. They kind of want to help people. That's how they got to where they're at.
Yeah.
Thing about entrepreneurs is they solve problems. They help people. So if you ask a really successful person, hey, how did you get to where you're at? They'll tell you exactly how they got there.
Yeah.
And that's when I was going to these meetups back in 2020, that's all I would do. I wanted to become these investors. So I would just ask them, hey, how did you get to doing what you're doing? And they would spill the guts. So like anyone listening to this, if you look around your circle, who you surround yourself with, and everyone's broke and out of shape or depressed, bad relationship, get around a new freaking circle. Mm-hmm. Aspire to be someone greater. The only way you can do that is get around those people that are greater.
I love it. Aspire to be someone greater. If I was younger and I would tell the 18-year-old Devin, I would say get a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, but thank you for coming on the show, bro. I think it was good. We had a good conversation. And everybody, thank you. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to all of our stuff. Devin, where can we hit you up at?
You guys can follow me on all social media, Mr._Burr. So it's MR_B with 4 R's.
For Burr. Right there.
Mr. Burr.
There it is. Be blessed, guys.